go to you about it here as well, but it is going to be Ilios, ladies and gentlemen, to kick this one off here on the attacking side. It's going to be Rogue to start with, and we'd like to see that Anna here. I don't know if May is really going to be a thing.
Yes, Ilios, also known as Dorado.
Oh, God help me.
I think you had the perfect view where it almost looked like Ilios.
You know, I almost made it sound convincing as well, so hopefully I'm not the only one double taking, but we flew over the beach and I got completely frazzled. It is Dorado to start with, as it should be for this round. And last time these two teams played against each other actually was in the Overwatch Open. Lee was right. It was a 3-1 win to Rogue, and they won Dorado.
We actually have Tvikon May. I talked to his team. I had a chance. This might not be a joke. They said they had some sneak May. I asked who'd be playing it. Very curious. They said Tvik.
Easy one to guess, I feel.
I don't know about this map, but we might actually see some Hanamura or some 2CP from them. They said they have strategies that they don't have planned for, which is why I got to say, I think Rogue is going to take this. They're going to bring something unexpected no matter what at some point. I think they feel confident. They've had pretty even matches against this team before, and they should be able to figure it out this time.
Well, it's going to be Tvik straight up on top of that building there. So no May just to start things off, but REUNITED to push so far forward here, trying to pull off the envious, aggressive defense we sometimes see on this map, but it's not really working out too well, is it? Rogue just slicing through them here. Unfix gets a response, but he gets taken down. REUNITED tried to mark their territory there, Stir. Not really working out.
That happens so quickly. I'm sorry, I missed a lot of it. Usually you don't even see teams hold up that far forward. They went with some bizarre strategy. They wanted to go for it, and it failed miserably. So right now we have Rogue pushing strongly with no opposition. The respawns are coming in time, though, so I kind of agree with this, that they were able to get a fight, and even though they lost it, they've regained their ground before the cart could even get pushed that far.
Yeah, so it's got a little way. Now they can take the fight at least here inside the courtyard, so that might have still been a good thing for Rogue now, as they can push REUNITED back over towards that doorway. Tvik goes in, gets the finish on towards Valitage. That's a very important target already going down. And there's AKM, gets himself on towards Cruz. REUNITED are in disarray.
Oh boy, Tvik found so many headshots there. He found every single player. Kib goes down as well. They are doing to REUNITED what REUNITED did to Complexity. Yeah. That is powerful.
What is this from REUNITED? Why is it that they can't establish themselves here? Do you think it was because they spawned too far back and Rogue are already set up?
I think the cart already made it to the fountain by the time they had come back. It was a very awkward defense. Hopefully they're going to be able to sit up on the high ground now. Everything should go back to the way we normally see things go in these games. We have AKM up top on the Reaper, looking to come around a flank. Winghaven holding up there just around this corner. Genji might do a little bit of distraction. Of course, he has the ultimate ready, and he gets destroyed.
Doesn't work out so well here, but Kib's going to try and come forward now as well as try and slow this Rogue train down. He's got Dragon Blade, but why use it here as well? Tvik goes for the reflect, gets an extra shield as well over from Wins. So this has forced Rogue back at least here, but if you're Rogue, you're still gritting to yourself, Stir. You've made such good progress early on here, and now it looks like REUNITED are set up. They're going to have to go for a fight, but it's a sound barrier used by Rogue quite early on. Reinforced drops though, right at the start of the fight, and Tvik, yes, gets a Dragon Blade kill on towards Valitage, but now here comes the other one. Kib going to try and go in.
This isn't looking very good here. This has been a very awkward fight. Everybody dropped off the high ground already. We have Mort moving back, taken care of. It's just Cruz on cart now. They're going to get that kill for free. And Kib in the backfield, they seem very split up right now. Everybody hasn't been able to be a part of the same fight. Rogue has stuck together. Clearly, they have the cart they want to push, and they're doing it.
At no point here, actually, has REUNITED actually been able to set up a proper defense. They were completely pushed off from the very beginning. They tried to go for, I don't know, the bluff and blunder of this very aggressive defense. Now they're going to get caught up in the Graviton Surge. Wins is going to lock them together. Winghaven gets on towards AKM here, but at least he responds. Valitage manages to break himself free of the gravitational bonds. He gets some damage across, and now Mort looking for the target up on high as well. That's Kib trying to make himself scarce on that Genji. Mort coming through as well. Tvik falls, gets his Discord off back, and for the first time, REUNITED finally stabilize.
That was almost not even in their favor. Both Graviton Surges went off. They tried to just delay so they get the cart pushed. You can see it's almost there right in the center of that little Aztec-looking symbol where you'd get the checkpoint. But now they're finally able to get on top of the high ground. Valitage up here, looking around, finally secured a defense.
So we might have to see Rogue try and challenge this high ground here as well. Or will they come from that side? I mean, is it a bit risky going from this courtyard like this? They seem a bit split on this attack.
They've seemed a bit split this entire game. They have Kib coming a little bit late, but they force them off onto the low ground because they do have to defend this cart. We're going to be looking for this Earth Shatter coming out any second. You know he really wants it, doesn't need it at this moment. It has free reign to hit that Zarya as many times as you want. And here it comes, puts him down. charges another Tavik in the wall. This is going to be another hold when you have their main DPS already taken care of.
A pretty decent timing there for Winghaven in the end, if you think about it. He laid down the Earth Shatter, and I don't think Tavik actually realized that was coming. He just went to pull the Dragon Blade out, so it doesn't look like the ultimate animation actually occurred, because he still has it refunded to him there. So he died earlier on, still has that one coming back in now as well. So 4 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock here for Rogue. They've made some darn good progress so far, I think it's safe to say, Stir, but now they've still got to get past this last checkpoint. Thinking about some high ground control by the looks of it, but it didn't work out for them well in that last little fight.
They're very split up again. Some of them are taking the high ground over there, some of them weren't, some walked to the cart straight ahead. Now everybody is completely split up in this fight. I don't even know where to focus on. Tavik dies alone, along with the rest of his team. A little bit of a Zen ultimate on the cart right now as Kib is running around, cleaning up every single person one by one, finding each person just wandering around Dorado. Tourists. They're tourists.
So he's just taking some photos. He's stopping to pose with some of the wildlife, and, well, he gets to keep dashing onward there as well.
They had a great initial push there. They came around the left side. They wanted to take the high ground and use that to their advantage, push together, and it just fell apart immediately. And that cohesion is something they need to pull together fast to put a good time on this map.
So it's a bit weird. They're coming in from the left side here, and they've got one Winston going up and a Genji going with him as well. This Winston-Genji dive buddy combo hasn't really worked out so well so far. So maybe Rogue are looking for something.
They're going all the way around the back, actually in the bank right now. Came up the stairs behind them.
And Tavik comes in from behind as well. He's got him on both sides here. Graviton Surge is coming in as well, but AKM's just going to try and fan the hammer through it. Valitage has already fallen to Tavik there as well. This could be a nasty Deadeye. He's trying to make sure Kib couldn't block that one. His animation just expired, and now AKM is free to plug away with the Peacemaker with his boots on the ground.
That was a really interesting push. They put so much time into their setup.
I'm glad you spotted that.
They actually stuck together. I know, it was really bizarre. They went into the bank, they went all the way around the back up the stairs. Not a single person even noticed that they had made their way down the street because their defense was a little bit split up as well, right? They had the Zarya over on the left side up on the high ground to make sure they didn't come that way. And they had to have the Reinhardt up on the other one. So it took them a long time to react, and they split everybody up. Very well done push.
Yeah, I guess the response from REUNITED is, okay, Rogue are coming all behind us as a team. Let's try and throw down the Graviton Surge. But Tavik was kind of the other end of the vice grip. He came in from behind REUNITED once they turned around and managed to get the damage across. And this payload's making pretty good progress. You can see that REUNITED trying to set up in this high ground now as well. They've lost a little bit of time. They were slightly staggered, and you can see Kib is constantly harassing them from the front now as Valitage trying to use that Deadeye, make some value out of it. That shield's not going anywhere here as well. Now the fight's on the ground. Winghaven surely looking for another big Earth Shatter to fire up.
Yeah, the ultimates aren't really in favor of either team. Tavik out here, of course, with the Dragon Blade, that's an ultimate within itself. Cleans up everybody, and that might even be it right here. They might have one chance to come out, but I think their spawns are staggered. Zenyatta's walking out of the gate first. They're going to be able to get this just a second here. Putting a 7-minute time is pretty good, but he has his ultimate, able to get on the cart. That huge stall is exactly what they needed. Unko on the point as well. This is one final fight.
Transcendence comes out there as well, not able to buy enough time here. Winghaven trying to press forward. He's got to keep Rogue away from this point. Kib goes into the back line just to make sure those reinforcements won't be coming out very fast. AKM goes down as well. That's a beautiful hold in the last few seconds. Yes, Vod had to use his Transcendence to get onto the point and stop the payload, but still, you called it. Those ults were up for REUNITED, and they put them to good use.
Absolutely, and again, it looks like the defense is going to have a bit of advantage as we're looking as unfixed. The Zarya has an ultimate again, decides so many fights with that Zarya ult. If you can get a couple people in it, they should be able to hold off for another fight, and we're actually looking at only about a minute left map time for them to do this. That's about one push and a really bad one after that.
Yeah, so not much time is pretty much what you're saying here. Graviton Surge coming down, Unfixed gets around behind, spreads a bit of damage over like butter, and there's plenty of butter for the amount of bread that was there. Rogue struggling to hang on their feet now as well. Tavik, all you can do is reflect, but you can't reflect that one, as Unfixed going to get the extra damage across the line. Keeping Tavik clearly didn't go for the gentleman's agreement of no Genjis. I think our audience is preferring it that way.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted some Genji. I think they both wanted Genji. We're actually seeing a Dragon Blade up for Tavik, soon for Kib, but we got Winghaven with the Earth Shatter. They might be able to get this last push in here, a minute left, but the ultimates have even out a bit. They wasted that Zarya ult, and they're not going to have it for this fight. They're coming in on the low ground. That's a little bit of a hard situation to fight in. They have the definite defensive situation here, but here the fight unfolds.
Yeah, Winghaven, maybe 360 Winghaven in a sec there. No, he gets Earth Shattered first. Reinforced pulls the trigger earlier on, but Winghaven somehow survives. Now swinging his hammer, gets his own Earth Shatter down. It's going to be Nox and Winds to fall. And Valitaja gets himself 2, so does Winghaven. It's a game of chess, that Reinhardt battle there as well, and it looks like Reinforce's Earth Shatter wasn't quite as effective as Winghaven's.
No, absolutely not, and Kib even saved his Dragon Blade, so even where you might think Tavik had the advantage here, where he can come back in with his Dragon Blade, Mort and Tavik, it's going to be completely canceled by the Zenyatta ult. I don't even think they're going to be able to finish this map. If they could even get to the cart in the next 10 seconds, Winston has to jump over to the point, drops down his shield. We have the Dragon Blade coming out from Kib, forces the Zenyatta ult early, and this is going to be a clean finish right here.
Yeah, Tavik Reinforce getting the kills here. They need to keep on this payload. That's still in overtime. They can still get it done. It's going to be outside 9 minutes, but that's going to be good enough for Rogue at this stage. Tavik goes down to 3 health. He has to back away, but overtime is still ticking. Now AKM gets himself behind the payload, does have a Deadeye ready to go, but there's a Winston in his face. He can't get any space for himself now as he wants to try and join the rest of his team, but there's a Tracer up his rear end. Couple shots going in towards from behind. He tries to lay down the flash, but he's taken down. And REUNITED might just retake control.
This is absolutely crazy that they've had it this long. We have Winston jumping around everywhere, trying to stay in the cart as long as they can, but they finally, right at the end, actually Winston getting credit for a triple kill, cleans off the cart, and that is a great hold. You can always be happy about a team not completing payload. That gives you such a big morale boost going into the next round.
I mean, on Dorado as well, that last point, we see quite a lot of teams are often able to do it. So Rogue going to get 2 out of 3 points for this map there. You can see already on the screen that these guys aren't exactly that happy. I think there's Unco there on your screen, not looking overly pleased here. You said that even that Tavik sort of had the Dragon Blade to come back into that last fight. The same was present there on the side of REUNITED, but it looks like REUNITED just managed to hang on that little bit longer. AKM got so badly zoned out by Unfixed in the end there. The Winston on a McCree action, not pretty.
Yeah, that last push was just, they had to rush it. They had to jump in, and forcing the fight in that way, there's definitely no way they were going to get a favorable trade. They actually did much better than I could have expected, but they're really not looking good. Not finishing the map, of course. This is based on time. Most teams are expected to finish. Doesn't always happen, of course.
Right,
we've seen a couple of first point holds today, and we're going to need to see a really good first point hold to make up that time.
Yeah, and maybe that's exactly what Rogue are thinking of here. I mean, look at their team comp though, nothing really kind of crazy about it. Hey, no Junkrat, funny business, no Symmetras there as well. I'm looking at you, Team Envious. So REUNITED be happy with that. All you gotta do is finish the map. Pretty darn comfortable. I mean, like you said, when Rogue came back in, it was only 10 seconds left in that last fight, so you're right, pretty hard to make it work.
Yeah, it looks like they're not taking any risks, like you said, no Symmetras. They're probably just sticking with what they feel confident with. They think they can hold this first point, though Dorado today, without a diva on your side or a little bit more defense, hasn't been held more than 2 pushes.
That is true. We've seen some really weird situations. Some teams get through first push, some teams take a long, long time to do it. I like to see Internet Hulk playing that diva actually on the attacking side for Envious on this map. I don't think we're going to see the same for REUNITED here as well, as they are out of the gates here. It's into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. REUNITED in the blue are on the attack, and they're going to be going with Kim and Valitaja with the Genji and Reaper combo.
Absolutely, we can see the standard setup defense underneath this arch. We have Reinforce there, just waiting for them to get here. Kib already doing some poking, almost goes down to 30 health, waiting for the rest of his team. And I don't really know if I agree with these team compositions. It's very even. I would like to see a Roadhog to break the Reinhardt shields. That gives you so much of an advantage here, but not too many teams have been opting for the Roadhog today, except for Complexity, and I guess that's not a good argument in favor of him right now.
No, not totally, no. I don't think so. I think, like, yeah, we see the McCree here for Rogue as well. That's not really mirrored on REUNITED's side. Value actually fancies more playing over towards his Reaper in this case here. It's picking up Kib. That's a pretty darn good start. He's come out of the shadows. He's managed to pick up the Slippery Ninja. Now, Winghaven having to back away on this one, and Rogue taking a couple confident steps forward here. Winghaven goes low. That flash looked like it had some ESP behind it. And Rogue seems to be holding on, but this is a really weird, slow roll kind of fight, sir.
Yeah, it took them way too long to get in. I was going to say the first pick of this fight is probably going to decide the winner of it. Winghaven goes down first on the Winston. The rest of his team falls around him. Cruz, of course, dead now. He was very low on Lucio most of that fight. They just couldn't find the damage on any one person at any one time, so it all started to slowly fall apart. And it looks like Rogue is doing what they needed to do. They needed a really good hold on this first point to make sure they can't get to the last one.
And nothing overly fancy as well. And you can see now those ults are starting to come online. That's going to be a factor in the next fight. But both teams just sort of took a couple tentative paces closer to each other. And then they started, you know, mildly damaging each other. And then we started seeing some people fall. It's quite weird how that fight works. But both teams are looking, searching for those priority targets.
This fight right here is going to be a big one. Almost both teams have all of their ultimates. Card is getting pushed. Graviton Surge goes down. Everybody gets caught into it, but the Zenyatta Transcendence saves them. tries to reflect it back at the McCree, but just barely misses it. I don't think it was a full charge. Dashing around, finding every person that he can. Not too many people have actually died in this fight because of the support ults. Nox taking down Reaper. Trades going both sides. What do you see here?
Well, Kib having to back away. That's all I see now. He went very, very low there. They're already missing Mort and Valitaja now on fixed falls down as well. Spoppy, another unsuccessful push for Reunited. Rogue are holding on here. And if they full hold them at this point, despite not even finishing the map stir, they're going to take it anyway.
They're going to need to push as fast as they can, use Winghaven's ult, get it in there, get them all rallied up, razzle-dazzled, and try and make this last push. Again, they're getting low on time, about a minute left, and that's when you really start to need to sweat as a player.
Now, Reunited really need to come in with a killer edge here as well. And one person toting just a weapon is Kib. He's going to be waiting for the starter's pistol to go off, and he can get into the back lines. And Winghaven has already used that primer raise, but to what end here? He's looking to try and go in and isolate someone, but he might almost fall here. He gets away with just 21 points of health. That's what I call living on the edge. And Cruz gets wings as well. This might start things off. Winghaven again jumping in and out of the fight. He doesn't want to be involved for any long period of time, but now the sound barrier is coming down for Rogue here. They're going to try and fight this one back in.
They're down players, though. They don't have their main DPS. They may be a little bit harder to kill. They have the support ults protecting everybody, but they don't have the damage actually coming out to kill anybody on Reunited. So this fight is still scattered. We have Reaper fighting Zarya off by themselves on the side, finally taking her down. Unfortunately, should have just backed up and been with her team. Just like we saw last game, actually, people are a little bit scattered. That fight was like a 1v1 that should never have happened.
And it's like Reunited is so close to running out of time here that if they lose one person, they're going to back away. It's going to be a perfect fight, but Reinforce lays down the hammer on the axes that may be here. Now it's going to be swinging that one even further. AKM's down towards half health. He does fall to Valitaja first of all. Valley gets his second, then Kib chimes in for the third. Rogue starting to fall now like dominoes with 10 seconds left. Well, Reunited will get there, but it wasn't pretty. And they don't have a hell of a lot of time left, but they keep this one going.
Right at the last second. That's a lot of stress relief.
Like
and again, it's not the time that matters. To an extent, it still matters, of course, but finishing the map is still within arm's reach, without a doubt. They just need a strategy for this first push up here as they take the high ground. We can see Ryan Farce and his whole team behind him. The Genji's trading a couple of blows. We see the Reaper around the corner. Again, a common strategy we've seen today, trying to push those Reinhardts off the top, but it looks like their high ground was secured until...
Oh my lord.
They all dropped off. Graviton's Surge goes down. This fight split up for no reason. Once again, Kib is able to just take advantage of this carnage that should never have even been in the first place. Gets stunned, finally taken down by AKM, and it looks like they're going to hold this for now.
A couple important pick-offs for Kib there as well, but it looks as if we're going to be able to see Rogue just solidify on this one a bit more. Mort now trying to fire some orbs away, and Twitch just going to back away with that one as well, throwing up the blade, going to deflect those shots away. Now Valitaja and Unfixed, though, they're getting back into it here. Reunited trying to build up some momentum here, and it seems to be working in their favor. Twitch hovers too close to Valitaja and gets himself picked off, and Nox falls as well. Do Rogue even have a chance to set back up on the high ground here, or are they going to be forced back?
They're very likely going to have to fight at the front door. We're going to see Zenyatta ults come out. We have Ryan Force going to be dropping down an ultimate, but it's probably going to be the last second, make sure they don't get the checkpoint kind of hold. A couple people on high ground, but it's not really mattering right now.
Yeah, I mean, Reinforce does have that orb. He lays it down as soon as I say it. But look, the Transcendence comes in from Cruz as well, just trying to keep people alive. Despite that, he goes down. Now Valitaja also falls to Nox. It's a messy fight, this one indeed. But Tavik has the Dragon Blade going as well. He's going to be looking there for Unfixed. He gets the prize. He's getting himself healed up amongst that fight as well. And Rogue finally just need to find themselves here. And with about 1 minute and 15 seconds left, it's going to have to be Reunited come back into this one. And they need to get this next checkpoint if they want to win this map.
The story of this match is the 1 minute left push. Every team has had that one last push where you think they can really make it, but right now we're looking at Rogue holding the high ground, the advantage up there, AKM with an ult, they have Nox with an ult. It's not looking too good for a Reunited right now, but this is definitely possible.
Well, yeah, less than a minute. You're damn right. I mean, they've already done it once, Stir, so let's not count them out of this one at all. Ult-wise as well, Reunited only currently have the Dragon Blade coming up soon and the Sound Barrier. Rogue have a little bit more to work with at this particular moment, but AKM now using that Deadeye. It's going to buy some time here. Sound Barrier is going to be coming down for Reunited and for Rogue as well. They're both going to use them just to make sure that no team goes into this fight too low on health. But now, still, despite the Sound Barriers coming out here, Stir, it's a very slow start to the fight.
AKM going down first again. Really bad to see that Kib is able to get this Dragon Blade off to such a much greater effect than Tavik was able to find during that fight. Here he comes, popping his ult. Maybe one more. Oh, from behind him gets sniped in the back of the head by Mort. And they may actually be getting this right here with, again, 10 seconds left. People have to get on this car right now. A huge charge takes him off into the corner.
They can hold him here. 4 seconds left there as well. Rogue come back into the fight. Winghaven's going to fall. This time it's going to go down. Will there even be an but this should put a bit more of a smile back on their faces.
Oh, that was definitely a tense match, and play of the match going to a Zenyatta, definitely something I want to see right here. Yeah, this is always what you want. Holding the cart there, healing up his teammates with the Zenyatta ultimate, popping one person, two person, can we get a third? Lined up around that corner? Yeah, we can get a third.
So you can obviously see the play of the game playing out there on unfixed monitor. But Rogue didn't even finish the map. They didn't finish the map, Stir. And then they held Reunited in front of the Lumerico power plant. Reunited only got 1 point from checkpoints, and it wasn't enough to finish. After such a strong defense, it all falls apart for Reunited on the attack.
Well, Rogue has said they play better when they're all together, and they're here at Gamescom, and they're able to actually talk it out. I think that actually was motivation for them that they weren't able to finish, that they were able to find it within themselves to say, we need to play really well right now. And on that first point, they held it for, I don't know how long, 4 minutes?
Yeah. It's like the perfect example of one-upmanship here in Overwatch. So this age-old rivalry continues to renew itself here. First map going over towards Rogue in a very impressive turnaround. I give it to Reinforce with that charge in right towards the end, but let's pass it over, Stir, to our experts and see what they have to say about that match.
Yeah, let us discuss that first one. Huck is coming closer. I see a happy face right there. He has predicted Rogue to go on top of 2-0 to Reunited. However, I really want to talk about the first bit where Rogue was on attack. And I think right before the second point, all of that, like literally almost every fight there looked really messy. Well, it started to look really uncoordinated.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Reunited's defense to begin with, because they defended on top of the building, right up the front, something you'd see in pub stomps. What were they thinking? What on earth? I mean, I get it. They got the respawn and they almost got back into place, but they weren't in position. So they basically gave up that first point, which we just saw Rogue hold for 4 minutes. They gave up that first point for free. That's why they ran out of time. If they had not, they had to hold for so long just because they screwed up such a weird position. We talked about Rogue bringing in weird tactics. Reunited, what was that? I don't know what was going on. We were watching it, you know, Stir was confused by it. I was like, what on earth? What are they doing? What is this defense?
Special tactics.
Yeah, it was really strange. And then obviously, thankfully, Kib decided to actually turn up, and they held them for such a long time in the church section.
Yeah, Kib almost by himself at times was able to get 1 or 2 or even 3 kills. At least 3 times I saw him go off by himself and come home to his team with 2 kills at least. And he actually, that was totally necessary though for Reunited earlier when they were playing on defense. Really helped them out a lot. Not helped them out enough though, because on attack, they couldn't get far enough on Dorado. And today, how many times have we seen teams not completing on Dorado? In a world, well, in a time rather, the last couple weeks, we've seen teams completing payload maps every single time in faster and faster rates on average in general. You know, Dorado is one that does tend to err on the side of defensive orientation compared to others like Kings Row, but we have seen teams completing maps at such a high rate. So it's actually a surprise this weekend to see that Dorado so far, a lot of teams are having trouble on attack.
Yeah. For me, I think this whole matchup and the story of the European teams in general is like a perfect example of their whole scene. The Europeans, those top 4 teams, it always seems like they're just exchanging position constantly. And we pegged Misfits at first, and then we put Reunited maybe at second, and now Rogue is coming out of nowhere, and maybe they're the best European team here. It's kind of up in the air.
I love that. I really have to say, I mean, as great as it is to watch Envy like the complete domination, right, of a whole area, it's just so much more fun to actually see that switch. And we're gonna have a Nombani coming up as the next one, and that's a map we haven't even been mentioning here. So I assume some people will be surprised by that pick.
If I remember rightly, Mitchell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was like Reunited's home map. It used to be like one of the choices they used to go to. Well, I mean, a lot of people have moved away from it because it's so damn hard to get that first point out. To get the payload moving, it's obviously the hybrid map. It really takes a lot of coordination. Rogue have done some really weird strategies on this map before, and it's backfired horrendously. There's been some really interesting changes. This was one of the first maps.
Once or twice too?
Yeah, this was one of the first maps we saw when One Hero Limit was coming in, and a lot of teams really struggled to figure out the tactic.
I'm just happy we're seeing the map. We've seen a lot of Dorado, we've seen a lot of Kings Row, so it's fun to mix it up, change it up.
Something different.
Yeah, and I think this is a good map for Lucio Boops too. You know, most teams set up on that first point on that top right side. I'm sure we're going to see the setup, so we can talk about it later. But it's definitely an opportunity for the Lucios to kind of, you know, shine out a little bit. Maybe you could play the game. You only need like 1 or 2 kills to do that.
There's a lot of opportunity for creative tactics
Yes.
on both defense and attack here, though.
So what do you guys think? How is Rogue feeling about that map choice? Do you think they're going to be happy with that? I mean, creative tactics, that seems to be kind of up their alley. They don't look too pleased, so I got to say, like, they're not looking super excited per se about that map choice. What do you guys think?
You're totally right. This team of Rogue, they're very flexible. They react to what their opponents are doing, and that could work out for them here on Numbani. That said, REUNITED chose it for a reason. They're going to have a strategy up their sleeve, whether it's going up through the hallway on the left. Maybe they're going to pull out a diva or something to allow them to get up there. You know, that can catch teams off guard. If you're able to get up there, get the high ground, move onto the point very, very quickly, you can get 1 or 2 picks early and it'll just snowball.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative tactics. I mean, God, you might even see a Bastion, who knows? Or actually,
I love Trace's face, like,
you know, we've seen Hanzo here.
Torbjorn is as legit as well. So there's so many options to it. And actually, on attack, we might see another Ana.
Yeah?
You don't agree, Chris, or do you?
I mean, I think anything's possible. I mean, we did just have that Bastion short come out. It was very emotional. Maybe it touched one of the players' hearts.
I may or may not have cried.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Rachel too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
cannot believe that. It was. I
theory.
think we all cried. Let's face it. That's the reality of things.
Reload
But let's see if Bastion is getting some love or any other hero we haven't been seeing today as of yet. But we also haven't seen Numbani. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of special tactics are coming up on this one. And for that, we once more heading over to our casters.
I love the fact that they talk about special tactics here as well. This is the first time we've seen Numbani today, and I think you have some expectations from Rogue on this map.
I think Tavik actually might be excited to play Mei here. Again, I said it last match, I really am looking forward to and expecting Tavik to go to a Mei. You also see just a lot of crazy characters that you don't normally see played on the first point in Numbani. Bastion has been seen here. We've seen Torbjorn. So there's been sightings of Ana that I'd really like to see on attack, which I think could be really powerful. But I'm not really sure if any teams have been running that, practicing that. But Rogue has said time and time again, they have strategies up their sleeve they haven't shown yet. So I think this could end up being, win or lose for either team, a really exciting match.
All right, well, Numbani, it's going to be, we've already seen a little bit of an intro to it, but let's throw you in just a few moments here. Bear in mind, if you just joined us, it's Rogue 1-0 up in this one, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat on Dorado. And these two teams, a long history, a long rivalry, definitely a bitter one at times. But only one team can advance from this group today. The other must play for their spot tomorrow here. It is going to be reunited by the looks of things on the defensive side to start with. Now, talk to me. If we do see Mei on this map, Stir, how is it going to be used and why is it good?
We've actually seen in the past Cloud9 try and run Mei here. It's never really worked out for them, so maybe we won't see it here. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up in the air, but you do have very narrow choke points that teams have to push through. And if you can react to where they're attacking from, you could figure it out early, you can wall them off, and that is such a huge bonus to be able to split off, kill 3 players. That's practically an ultimate in a wall that Mei can cast every, what, 10, 12 seconds?
Pretty frequently, yeah. Being able to split someone off from the rest of their team as well, catch them on the one side of the wall and pick them off is great to slow down attacking pushes here as well. So I don't know if I misspoke, it's going to be reunited attacking. Rogue in blue on defense. So, sadly enough, for some, Tavik is going to be on that Genji
A lot of people don't like Mei, so a lot of people are probably pretty happy. Though Genji has been losing fans, so I don't know where they stand anymore.
Probably something about being a guy with a sword that carves you up in a matter of seconds and can hit you from across the room.
Interestingly, I would say it's a mistake every time you don't have Reinhardt defending Numbani. And we're not seeing a Reinhardt, we're actually seeing Winston and Zarya, which works, but I'm skeptical.
So quite often you can see a Reunited's composition here as well. They've got a Diva, they've got a Genji, they've got a Winston. They're going to jump up on those ledges, they're going to get some high ground, and they're going to use that to control this area up here. You can see Unfixed is already headed up top side now. Most of Rogue is set up on that left-hand balcony, and a lot of that team will be there. So Reunited are going to have to push around behind them and take the fight, but Unfixed is already looking for the squishier targets. Oh no, he's already locked, he's knocked Unco off the edge almost. He got back on only just. Very, very quick D-suit there for Unfixed as the Discord Orb does its job.
This fight is incredibly split up already. We had Diva going straight to the back. We have Altaja on Tracer all over the place. Finishing off this Zenyatta on the point. We have Genji's dashing as well. No one controlling the high ground anymore. It's just kind of a skirmish on the point. AKM goes down. It looks like so far this is in favor of Rogue, and it's just Nox who's struggling to stay alive, getting pushed back, trying to contest the point as long as he can for Winston to finally show back up and be able to rejoin this fight.
The stalling may not be enough here. Unfix gets himself 2 kills, and REUNITED have control of this first point. Rogue went for nothing weird, and they're going to lose the first point straight away. Lovely push there from REUNITED. It turned into a bit of a skirmish there, Stir, but it'll get the job done nonetheless.
I would have loved to have seen a Torbjorn when you have those scattered fights,
yes.
which they've been seeing a lot. Torbjorn really just, if there's one person fighting on the point that you can't stop, there's a Tracer, Genji, though we're seeing a lot of that. It really limits what they're capable of doing. Torbjorn has been proven time and again to be pretty good on Numbani as well.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, their defense was just, it didn't feel right to me from the start.
You'll still see it from Melty every now and then, but definitely not from these guys recently. AKM then picks off Kib. So Rogue now as well, despite losing the payload, they're pushing very aggressively forward, defending here right on this corner. They're not letting this cart move at all, and they're leaving wins up forward. AKM steps right to the back, so he can still take shots and do good damage, but now the fight's going to start. Sound barrier comes in, and Rogue are looking for a brawl.
Counter stand barrier goes out. We have Voltaja trying to get something done, but he's stuck inside of a Graviton Surge. Kib in the backfield again. The story of these games, he's always away from everybody else, dragon blading, cleaning up these fights for his team, and that looks like that's going to be a successful fight. The street area of Numbani is usually pretty quick to get through, and it's the last area of Numbani we're going to have to look forward to. They might be able to set up on the high ground just ahead. Though I'm speaking too far ahead. They haven't been able to clean this out quite yet. I don't know how they weren't able to find the kills here.
Yeah, I mean, the spawn of REUNITED was right in front of where the Rogue guys were, so they actually managed to push REUNITED back, but it's only ever going to be for so long. This is just stalling. This is excellent stuff here for Rogue. They're buying some extra time. Tvik making himself very scarce on that payload, very hard to hit, of course, when you're mid-rewind, and only now does that payload actually get moving properly for REUNITED.
It's apparently easy to miss. They had a Tracer behind the cart for that whole fight, not letting it be pushed. Apparently, it's easy to just not notice that Tracer, but they're going to be down that Tracer. Her spawn is staggered. They don't have the high ground just yet. They're getting it right now. This is going to be a little bit of a sloppy fight, and I think it's definitely in favor of Rogue.
Voltaja backing up here a little bit. You see the couple headshots coming out for him, not yielding any kills thus far. Deadeye comes in, gets AKM as well. His opposite number now off the map. Maybe a little bit more confidence coming forward from Voltaja, but first he needs to deal with Tvik. Getting right up in his face there on that Tracer. It's a headshot towards the big monkey man, but now Primal Rage is going to be used by Reinforce, and Voltaja falls finally to Tvik.
Tvik on that Tracer doing really well. Switched off of the Genji, I believe, actually, and it's doing really well for him. He's able to find these kills. Why do you think he decided to switch over to Tracer here?
I mean, look, you're stalling here. You're not holding one point. So as a Tracer, if you can stay alive and you can harass, pick off people in the back, with a Tracer's not about winning fights outright. It's about staggering spawns and making it so there are far less windows where REUNITED are at full strength. And they don't have all pistons pumping when there's only 5 players because one's getting picked off constantly by Tvik here. So again, it's just a stall measure. They're not trying to team wipe them. They just want to slow them down.
Slowing them down, they definitely did by able to win those fights. Not the best Graviton Surge I've ever seen right there, getting 1 kill, but it's a good kill at that. Zenyatta going down early is nice. But again, this fight just immediately, as soon as it goes off, there's people fighting in the complete backfield. You have giant monkeys fighting. I don't even know why McCree's back there. Probably got pushed the whole way. And now back on the actual cart where the fighting needs to be. It's Winston's looking at each other and a whole just scrap fest.
What is going on with REUNITED here? This is supposed to be their home map. This is supposed to be where they put the pedal to the metal and make Rogue look like absolute amateurs, but it's the other way around. Rogue fighting so beautifully up on this road here. This is the second time they've actually just stood forward on the payload and said to REUNITED, come at us. Come and fight us here on our turf. And REUNITED are getting slowed down so much there.
Not really any ultimates for either team. We have AKM, who's going to lay down a high noon from the high ground up here. No, just down on the ground. Able to push the back again. They haven't been able to even get to the cart. They're just being walked back by Reinfarce. I keep saying Reinfarce like he's a fake. I don't know why I can't say that word. But he's just in this backfield, uncontested, punches McCree in the face. No respect. It finally takes an ultimate just to finish him off. And it wasn't even enough because they're nowhere near the cart.
I don't know how I can overstate how rare this is to see. You guys need to understand that REUNITED, first of all, this is supposed to be one of their best maps, or at least it was. And they're not even getting around past this stage. Most teams have actually finished the map by this point, and REUNITED are running out of time. Is a minute, 37 seconds left here. Rogue just planting their feet here. They can 2-0 REUNITED if they keep this up.
So Taja goes for the big ultimate, however, instantly killed by Tavik. I think Tavik has really been the star player this match. He hasn't allowed REUNITED to find their footing. Again, taking another down, Mort falls, and just within this chaos that keeps happening, he's able to find consistent damage, even more so. Graviton Surge goes down to clean this up once more, and we're looking at 1 minute left on the clock. One more push for the Streets phase, which is usually one of the easier parts of this map.
And finally, looks like REUNITED build up a little bit of momentum here. Reinforced just trying to stay canny, just trying to work in and out of that bubble. He's eventually going to die, but he buys just a little bit of extra time. So REUNITED finally get that second checkpoint, finally! And they just have 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to finish this one off here. It's really getting close, and if you're REUNITED, you're getting frustrated, you're getting stressed out, you're getting annoyed, because you picked this map purposely to try and mess with Rogue, and Rogue instead have turned around and started styling on you instead.
Absolutely. We're having just staring at the Reinhardts. Oh, what was that? That should never have happened. That was just a regular Reinhardt's facing off. He finds 2 kills in the back, finishes off the Reinhardt, and again, they're making it look like REUNITED didn't pick this map, as you keep saying.
Yeah, exactly. They're not looking good right now, I'll be honest with you. Rogue now, 2 minutes and 20 seconds here. Now, this last stretch is a long one. You've got twists and turns. There are a lot of pitfalls for the unwary. It's treacherous territory for an attacking side.
Dysentery, everything. We have a Lucio speed boost, though. They're gonna have to use this. Push the Reinhardt in here. He's definitely gonna try and be aggressive. Whichever Earthshatter comes down, it looks like they're scared of each Reinhardt's scared of the other one, but neither of them have it. They fooled me for a second, and I can check this.
It's messing with me as well, but there we go. 4 players falling there for Rogue. REUNITED finally starting to get some momentum here. This fight won't win them the map, but it'll get them very close. One more fight should get the job done now. Tvic falls down there. Unfix is going to find it, but now we're starting to build some momentum. The last push comes up here for REUNITED, and Rogue have got a hot-footed out there and start to stall this payload a little bit longer still.
Actually REUNITED this time for one final push. We have Unco, though, coming out here with the Zenyatta ult in a second. That's definitely going to stall the cart and maybe even win them this fight. They don't have too many ultimates to cross. Actually, Unco goes down. I didn't see quite who killed him there. Was that Unfixed on Tracer? Just
yep, Unfixed doing work, just like we see on the screen here as well. He's playing RKM as well. This is perfect. REUNITED, it's Unfixed, paving the way to ending the map here at the very least here. Tvic got Winghaven, but there's not much else he can do. He's trying to stall from the back line. He gets onto the payload. He's going to go down, but no, Unco gets in there. That's a clutch transcendence. It's going to keep the 2 of them alive for a little bit longer, but eventually that healing's going to run out. Tvic does have the Discord orb on him, and now it's being switched across. Somehow Rogue have managed to rally the troops. They're standing on this payload, and AKM gets a double, and they're going to hold for now.
One last hold. That is absolutely amazing. That kill onto Zenyatta when he was 95% ultimate was absolutely key there. He could have contested that. He could have saved all his teammates. It would have been the other way around entirely. But now we're going to have to see one last push, a rushed push. In 30 seconds remaining, we have Winghaven who's going to lead the charge, drop his Earthshatter, in theory.
In theory, ideally that would happen, right? 4 ultimates here for REUNITED, so they got a lot of offensive capabilities. 3 offense heroes, right? They've brought Unfixed in on the Tracer, so they're really going for it. They've got to finish. This is REUNITED's pick. This is where they're supposed to turn it around. But Winghaven gets up behind Rogue, stands behind, and he lays down the Earthshatter as well. Nox is going to be the first to fall. Valitaja takes it down. The charge is going in. The monkey's in trouble. Unco a win spot falling down, and REUNITED, they've broken the deadlock, or at least it seems that way. They're going to get home just in time. 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Doesn't get much closer than that.
They did not need that last second. They calculated the whole way through. We'll leave them 1 second at the end. That was phenomenal, though. They finally came together as a team, as we're seeing a lot today. Thought of, this isn't working. Let's go around the back. I was worried there for a second. He ulted everybody from underneath the cart. It didn't look like he had any team support. But as soon as he went, I think Kib was cleaning up in the backfield with the Dragon Blade. They just split everybody up and were able to win that fight very cleanly.
You can see REUNITED were definitely trying to shake Rogue out. Going around behind them, you saw the Earthshatter come down there as well, and the payload obviously doesn't block moves like Earthshatter, so I think the moment that Winghaven saw a couple players on the other side of the payload, he's like, okay, time to let it rip. Brought the hammer down. 9 minutes for Rogue to finish this map. What if REUNITED are that good at this map, apparently, on defense at least, and can hold Rogue here? They could actually win the map despite barely getting it finished here. I mean, we saw the same on Dorado. What do you think could happen at this point, Stir?
Again, I'm not expecting to see it. We're not seeing what you traditionally call defense heroes. I know they're not too popular, but we're seeing Winston, who's one of the most aggressive tanks, Tracer, Genji again. We're going to see these crazy brawler fights. And I think when you have that kind of style defending here on Nobody, eventually the attackers will win out just based on spawn times.
again, it's like a couple of these maps as well when the walking distance is quite long here. Actually, for the attacking side, the walking distance is slightly longer on this map. So you do need to sort of get all 6 of you and get a pretty convincing fight win to actually take this point here, which we saw from REUNITED eventually on this one.
Yeah, so the attackers, though, coming in, getting to choose where they engage the fight from. If they take it slow and they find the first pick, I really don't see how they're going to have a problem attacking this point. It's just, they're going to be all over the place again. We have D.Va up on the high ground, a very mobile defense, but
defensive D.Va, yeah.
I don't trust these.
It looks like an attacking
Torbjorn.
Exactly. Where's my boy Torbjorn? Where's Bastion? This looks like an attacking composition for REUNITED on defense. They really want to take the fight to Rogue. They want to deny Rogue from getting these entry points, getting these high ground locations where they can actually take control over this point as they attack. But Rogue will want to go around the outside by the looks of things here. Reinforce will be leading the charge. He's going to go straight on in there as well. Immediately that forces Kib to take to the skies as Genji. And now Reinforce has to join the rest of his team. Tvik already fell to Winghaven. Losing a Genji so early must hurt. And Valetaja finds Reinforce.
He went in so deep there. It seemed like he had much better targets, and he felt the need to go into the back line, and that was the first loss, and without your full team here, it's so hard to finish that fight.
It kind of feels like we're seeing the same thing we saw just outside of the Lumerico Corp on Numbani for Rogue, where they kept sending Reinforce very, very deep in on his own here as well. It seems like almost the same issue. That Genji combo with Winston seems to be a little bit flimsy right now, with REUNITED bearing down on it.
Dorado.
Did I do it again?
Yeah, you did it again. We're actually seeing the fight come straight down onto the point now. Valetaja up top with the... He actually gets 2 people, I think a couple of trades going in favor of REUNITED right now, but this is, again, just the scrappiest of fights. 3 players down for both sides. Kib goes down. It looks like this is going to be a successful attack here.
Well, Rogue getting a few of the kills here. They've only lost Reinforce so far. Dragonblade comes in. This could be a big self-destruct from Unfixed, but no one's really there to see the fireworks. They all take cover from it. But this has given REUNITED valuable seconds to hang on this point. AKM, though, pins Cruz up against the walls there with the plasma pistols, and Unfixed now working them from around the side. Looks like they've slowed Rogue down a little bit, Stir. I don't know if it's going to be enough here, though.
This doesn't look like an attack that's taking place like 2 minutes into a match. Neither team really have ultimates to work with. We have Unko. I really don't even know if I agree with him popping ult there. This fight was already a very awkward engage, and that's all that they have. Mort pops his later, which is a nice advantage for them. We had Lucio ult come down as well. They've put so many resources into this fight. They need something to happen. And again, Reinforce is just taking people on tours in the backfield.
Getting the scenic route perhaps there as well, but he left his team alone there. So the rest of Rogue actually weren't able to do much to REUNITED once Reinforce had left that fight. You can see them now. They're forced to back away. They need to wait for a couple of extra reinforcements, and this is slow going for Rogue here. After such a great defense against REUNITED, it'd be really disappointing to see them lose the map on virtue of not being able to break this first point.
It's fine to lose a fight as long as you keep your ultimates and win the next one. I completely disagree. I hate to point the finger, but Unko, I think, made his team commit with him. They came and used ultimates as well. They're going to have to do this fight again. I think they're at an ult disadvantage. Kib going down. A couple of important picks coming out here. AKM dashing around the point. Again, on these tracers that both teams have found so popular here. Trying to find those last couple of picks.
Now I think Rogue getting some progress at least. It looks like this may have worked out here. Valetaja is going to fall. AKM into the back line. He finds Mort. And yes, after all that, Rogue will have the first point. They'll have the payload, and they'll have things underway.
Absolutely. For the first time, getting that point. The rest of the map is, of course, what matters. If they can get through this stage faster than they were able to on the offense, yeah. They have a lot of time to make up here.
You're dead right. I mean, 9 minutes is what it took REUNITED. 8 minutes 59. We'll give them the benefit of a second here. So Rogue have essentially a lot of time. 5.5 minutes here, which is obviously what it took REUNITED. And Rogue, if they're any quicker, they're going to be taking this whole series away, not just the map. So now, this is REUNITED. They've got to buy a lot of time. They have to be aggressive like this. Winghaven has to jump in, which adds so much more risk to your play. And this has forced already a primal rage out of him here as well. But AKM goes down to Cruz, and it looks like REUNITED actually can muscle Rogue off for now.
Yeah, creating so much chaos here. Once again, we're so familiar with seeing at this point. The cart is mostly just divided. There's no real consistent damage dealers out here. Valetaja is... His team is relying on him to do almost everything. And Kib, of course. Can't forget Kib, but everyone's getting split up so much. Kib might be fighting the Winston that's way in the back. You know, practicing, being a monkey, whatever they do. and everyone else on the cart really needs the DPS there with them to be able to clean up. They need to just call a focus target, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll follow you there. Valitaja, Deadeye coming out from him there as well. Again, looking to push Rogue away, to zone them out here. Wings gets on towards Winghaven, so that's not a bad little change there. Interesting switch for Wings to go here for the Winston. Now Tvik getting in there with a Dragon Blade as well. Swing, swing, and swing. Gonna need at least another one there to get unfixed, and he does, but now he's running out of time. Can he find more with one more swing? No, it hits the wall as well. Now he's forced to go the old-fashioned way. Shuriken's out, and it's stand and deliver, but Kib is there just a little bit quicker on the delivery himself. AKM now going for the flash, trying to shut down Kib as he jumps across the payload. Messy fight for Rogue, but they are on the move there. Pretty solid for them after the fact.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to set up on this high ground. They may even be able to push this card all the way up until the end. I don't even know if it's a good idea for REUNITED to try and defend this anymore. They're just going to stagger players. Looks like they should be holding around this corner. Zarya's walking a bit forward. Shirley just getting some charge on her if she can. Looks like they're ready for one last push. Yeah, they have just a couple of seconds here. They catch people in the back with the ultimate, but Graviton Surge is met with a Zenyatta in comparison. Able to find maybe one more kill. Nobody really, it's all in the favor really. To be Rogue.
So, I mean, what we saw there as well, quite simple. The Graviton Surge came out there from Unfixed, but there was absolutely no follow-up. The reason being is because Rogue had already dealt a heck of a lot of damage to the rest of the REUNITED players trying to reinforce through this corridor here. You know, you said that Unfixed looked like he was a little bit too far around, maybe getting information, but then he kept walking. And then, well, he was the only man to follow up damage for it here as well. So now Unfixed going to be switching towards that Reaper here as well. That extra offense hero coming out for REUNITED now on the defense.
Tafik chasing everybody around once again, trying to focus fire on that Reinhardt, but gives up on him halfway. People have Lucio ult, he can't find a kill. 10 health and almost about 10% to his ultimate. Really would have been important to have. Unfixed, cleaning up the last couple, and that's going to be a successful hold there. This is definitely a situation where you'd still feel confident, though, as Rogue, when you have 3 minutes left to do this.
3 minutes, that's plenty of time, I like to think, at this stage here. 6 minutes and 20 now on the clock. We'll see 2 minutes and 40 odd remaining in the round. All Rogue need to do is get to this next checkpoint now as well. Deadeye coming out from Valitaja again. Wants to just back Rogue up a little bit here as well. Make sure they check themselves before they get wrecked by the 6-gun shooter here, and they do. They're back around the corner for now. Unfixed has a good vantage point here. Death Blossom isn't ready, so he's not going to jump down and go for the Reaper Copter, but he can get to the back line to do a lot of damage pretty early on. Here's the speed boost. REUNITED thought about fighting there, but an awkward little disengage as they realized that Rogue had already backed up.
Yeah, Rogue backed up at just the right time. Otherwise, they really would have been looking at a Reaper in their face. Really great disengage, but they do have to get forward here eventually. Tavik again, looking for those kills, gets put on the ground just at the tail end of it, and they're going to be able to be cleaned up once again without any trades in their favor.
That Earth Shadow is a very important ult in these cases, and great use of that by Winghaven as well. One of the most dependable Reinhardts in the game. He's actually one of the best Panzerfaust players back in Quake enemy territory, the rocket launcher, but a little bit of a different role here for him, still manages to make it work. So, again, you can see Rogue will back up around the corner a little bit here. And Valitaja has his Deadeye again available. Oh, the backline of Death Blossom doesn't quite get off the ground though. Unfixed only gets one taken down by AKM straight after. But Valitaja getting the pick off and reinforce, and Rogue are crumbling a little bit here still. They keep falling down. Valitaja getting himself his 3rd kill. He's looking for another one as well. Wins. No choice but to try and back away. It's unlikely he'll even escape at this point. That's a good shot from Valu. And that's Rogue now as well. Maybe 1, maybe 2 pushes left.
I'm expecting to see Rogue try something different here. If they come up top, it just seems like once teams fail a couple times, they realize, okay, let's just mix this up. We have a good idea what to do. But no, they're just walking down the street again. Reinforce coming in with the ultimate, doing the inevitable Reinhardt against the shield, drops it into the shield. Maybe thought he was going to drop it himself. It's always such an awkward battle between Reinhardts. Goes for a charge, just narrowly misses a Lucio. And this is going wrong in every way for Rogue right now.
Oh, AKM at least gets the flash down, at least able to kill Kib. And actually gets Valitaja there as well. Somehow AKM's still alive in this fight. This at least gives a frontier for Rogue to come back into. Unco just picks Mort off there as well. So now REUNITED, they're also staggered out. This payload is about halfway between both the spawns, so both teams actually take about an equal amount of time to get back onto the payload and keep fighting. So this is why Rogue can keep coming forward, all because AKM got those couple of kills here, and they can still finish this just in time. There's only scant seconds left, maybe 20 at the most here. Now down to even less here. Tvik having to back away. He knows he needs to try and get around the side. Transcendence already used early on to try and keep this Tracer alive. Pulse Bomb comes in. Pulse Bomb goes out. It's going to be Cruz falling down. And there's AKM, finds on towards Kib here. REUNITED are down 2 players, but so are Rogue. Here comes the Deadeye coming out. Tvik can't quite shut it down. It's AKM that finds Valitaja though. But no time left. REUNITED just hold on. Oh, it was so close.
Barely, barely. Again, we are going with stopwatch, so the team that completes the map the fastest wins, so we don't have to flip coins at you guys.
Oh,
and
my lord.
unfortunately, such a close game there. That is got to be disappointing. But that was a great performance in the end.
So let's recap this a little bit, right? You're reunited. You lose the first map, a little bit unfortunately there. You pick Numbani. You say, we got this is our map. You get absolutely stumped on the attacking side. It takes you the full 9 minutes to finish off. You're probably not feeling pretty good by that point.
Probably.
But they managed to hold Rogue off just that little bit better.
Yeah, that was really something else. I think for picking Numbani and putting your hopes in Numbani and being one of the better teams at the map, as you've stated, I didn't see anything like that would shout out to me, good team at Numbani. It just felt very standard, very, we're just going to play this team comp, this is how we want to do it. It didn't feel like they had a plan.
Well, maybe that was the truth here as well. But one thing's for sure, we're going to a third map, ladies and gentlemen. One more to decide this one. But before we get there, we're going to check in with our expert desk and see if they got anything to say about that match. What a cracker.
I really got the feeling that some people here definitely have something to say about that match we just saw. Fishsticks, you just made a bit of a face. You do disagree. You did feel like there was a plan going behind it.
I have to disagree with Stir because actually REUNITED did pull out a pretty interesting strategy to start off the map. Usually you tend to see folks go on up through the left-hand staircase behind a Reinhardt shield or behind a D.Va and try to just gain the high ground by brute force. But actually what we saw REUNITED do at the beginning is they used D.Va to try to bump people off, try to bump them, even if they didn't go into their doom, at least bump them off the top. But they also were running with a Genji and Tracer and a Winston. So completely non-standard strategy for REUNITED on the first phase there of Numbani, and maybe the rest of the map.
Yeah,
maybe.
About that.
Maybe I agree with you there, Stir, but at least for the beginning phase of that map, it was very clear to me that REUNITED had a practiced strategy, and it was pretty cool actually too. I mean, it ended up working. So
for me, the biggest part was obviously the adjustment that REUNITED made right at the end of the game. They decided to go for the flank right around the back, get around. Then we saw Reinforce plowing on through, not Reinforce, Winghaven plowing on through, catching them around the back, the full flank. And obviously, when you look at the game, I mean, the difference there was 10 seconds more, they would have finished that game. They Rogue with it. So the big difference was really that little flank around that worked out very well for them. Solid defensive hold from REUNITED at the tunnel. That was really where they gained the time. That was where everything started to work for them here. We're seeing Valataja going off. He managed to start landing shot after shot after shot. This is when they were starting to really clock up the defense. You can see it was just a minute to go on the clock there. That's when it really started to work out for them, which is unusual to say REUNITED actually made adjustments because they're really very slow at doing that ordinarily. So clearly the boot campers kicked something off for them.
And the weirdest thing, I think, was all the fights. Almost every single fight was really sloppy, like people flanking, other people trying to like hold the line. Reinhardt is like completely useless. He's holding his shield and he's like, team,
what's happening?
Where is everybody? I'm getting shot.
Yeah, I kind of got like flashbacks from Dorado. Like that one bit, again, like, he's just like kind of,
all over the place.
Things are happening all over the place, and nothing is quite working out, but it somehow works out for whatever reasons. So yeah, that was interesting to see, but that means we have a tight series now, 1-1 now the score, and it really just shows that those teams in that group, they're really close to each other. The Cloud9 game before was really, really close. Those two guys are really giving each other quite the fight. And where does complexity stand in all of this?
Guess we're about to find out, huh?
I mean, where does it go? Where does it go from here? That's the question. I was incorrect earlier, actually, by the way. Rogue beat REUNITED 3-1 in their previous encounter in the Overwatch Open, which was it was the 2 weeks ago. It was week 2 when they did it. I don't know. I think it was the week before you got there, Ben. They managed to go through that. So obviously, mentally, Rogue still have the edge over them. It is their map choice now. We saw, obviously, Numbani coming out. Bit of a curveball, perhaps. Ended up with a 9-minute either half, so...
Okay, so before you guys are being told what the next map is, I'm just going to assume that hasn't happened.
We haven't been told yet, no.
Yeah, that's what they're going to say now, but they totally have been told. So quick, what's it going to be?
It's going to be a King of the Hill map, I think.
I agree. Maybe. I'm going to say Nepal. Go for something else.
Is that how it works? Like,
Actually,
the same thing.
It's a competition.
So ordinarily I would say Ilios, but it's not in the pool for the groups, because that's something that they've both been kind of, they're trying to make it their thing they were in the regionals. It's going to be Nepal, man.
I can do Lijiang if you want to do Nepal. I don't care. I don't care who wins or loses.
I just want to have diversity on the desk.
I want to have fun.
You're going to say Gibraltar.
I don't think so. I don't think so, actually.
But you know what that looks like? It's Hanamura. And we got to say, though, Demon called it.
Finally.
Demon called it.
Yes.
You get all the credits in the world. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
it
I was
was
just about to
ages.
say that,
Take
guys.
away
The credit. Minus.
You were way too slow for a second. I'm really sorry about
I can't
that.
take credit
You're
because
a good guy.
I
You
said
don't want to?
complexity we're going to take.
I don't
We'll pick
care.
this.
I just wanted to give you credit. Why? Come on, give him
He's
something.
a good guy. It's really interesting, though. I think Rogue is very good at picking maps tailored to their opponents. Hanamura is kind of a curveball. I don't think anybody would have guessed this going into it. And at the same time, when they played Cloud9, they specifically picked Dorado because they knew they were bad at the map. I don't know what kind of read they have here specifically, but I mean, I think it's the first control point map we've had this whole time, and maybe it will be for the whole tournament. It's just not something competitive teams pick a lot.
I mean, it depends, right? If this is working out great for them, then there is definitely the possibility of them picking it again.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, they've proven they were very even. Dorado and Numbani, very, very close games. Clearly, both teams very equally skilled. So it's going to be down to what sort of interesting strategies they've managed to work in their boot camps.
And this is what we are about to find out as we are heading into the last map. It's going to be Hanamura between the guys from Rogue and Reunited. Are you guys ready? Because we definitely are for this wonderful, exciting match happening in just a few seconds. So guys, take it away.
Now, sir, I knew that Tavic's a massive troll. He talks a lot of crap online. But I didn't think he'd actually take it to the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown and pick Hanamura here for Rogue.
I've been saying this whole time, we might really see the Tavic Mei. It sounded like they wanted to bring it out, and this is absolutely, if you're going to bring Mei out, this is the best map in the game to try her out. You have these very small choke points. The first point, you can wall off the entire thing. If you cut off even a Reinhardt, that one Reinhardt pick wins you the fight. The second one, the second control point, you see a lot of Reinhardts, the full team trying to push up the top right stairs on attack, and Mei is so powerful there. She scares teams when they're pushing. They aren't ready for it.
So she's cutting off these very narrow routes of approach, I guess, to these important sites. So the main doorway as well, you kind of really can't get past that. There are only a few methods of entry to some of these locations that Mei can cut off, right?
Yeah, even if we don't see Mei, these maps that we've been seeing Numbani, which is kind of a hybrid style where you do the first control point maps lend themselves to have more defensive heroes and more bizarre strategies that we don't typically see because you really have the time to set up your defense. We could even see Junkrat's extremely popular on this first point. Symmetra occasionally even can really set up a good defense here. There's so many different possibilities for you to set up with that definitely looks like Rogue has practiced them. Can you say that Reunited has practiced Hanamura?
I think if I even said that in front of Mord, he'd look like someone just made a very bad smell in the room. He'd sort of scrunch his nose up and be like, no, we don't play this map. So the Reunited have to hope they've at least practiced it or at least had a glance at it here as well, because Rogue are not above going for the cheeky little picks to try and get the series here as well. If that gets them through to tomorrow, Rogue, they're more than happy to do it. Whatever it takes at this point. And Rogue will be starting on the defensive side, and you better believe it, it's going to be the Tavic Mei coming out, and you called it, sir. God help us all.
I've been trying to call it for a while, so I'm glad I'm finally right, and I finally look like I knew what I was talking about. But again, it's a very standard attack from Reunited. We have the Genji, which they're going to rely on, which is actually going to be good here, because Genji, of course, he doesn't matter if you wall him off. He's probably going to be in the backfield anyway, climbing up walls, getting through that top left little window there. But for the rest of his team, they might be left behind.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can kind of split people up, though, with that wall really nicely. Even if, half of Reunited have gone through the door and half are still bringing up the rear, you have to throw up the wall at the right time, and then you have a 6v3, can cut half their team down, and then wait for the rest of the reinforcements to come in. So, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be Reunited to start off on the attacking side. It's Hanamura. It's serious business here. Winner of this map will go through to tomorrow, and the loser will have to fight for their survival one more time in the lower bracket.
Yeah, you're going to want to see a quick push here. They need to decide very soon what they want to do. As soon as they know there's a Mei on this team, they need to group together and say, you know what, this is how we're going to bait the wall. We're going to wait it out. This is what we're going to do. They actually all go in right together. That was perfectly coordinated. They may have even expected a little bit of Mei trying to freeze them as they get up those stairs, but that's a little awkward spot to be. This Reinhardt could also get choked off in 1 second when he gets the wall back, but no, they're finally up the stairs just in time. But that's not it. They may be able to be split up one more time, but this whole fight has broken into complete chaos. Lucio goes down, frozen a little bit, chasing down the Zarya, getting her down to low health, having the team help him out, and you have the team back on the point, split up just a little bit too much.
This is real life. It is Mei. It's Mei doing some serious work as well. Valley Tiger, things getting a bit chilly for him there, but still it's going to be the ice block forced by Tavic to stay alive. Luckily, Tavic has a team to back him up, so when he does go into that stasis form, he has defense as well, and people are able to follow up on that one as well. So a bit of an elongated push from Reunited. That took quite a lot of time, Stir. They went up the top left side, And that's where you said this fight started to get a bit split up.
Yeah. Well, you can see that even without the Mei wall and the strategy relying on splitting a team up, Mei was still able to be a useful character. It wasn't just, it didn't stop and end at the wall. We also saw Mort actually died really late in that fight, staggered his spawn an incredibly long time. So they're coming in late. We have Kib in the side. He's going to be Dragon Blading, may even be going for the Mei first to try and get that kill. Going to look for that Zenyatta. Maybe he's pushed back his team, not quite ready. Again, trying to go up those stairs. He may have this wall in just a second. I feel like they're going to clean up really well here.
Oh, Earthshatter comes in here as well. It's Vic going very, very briefly in towards Ice Block and now coming forward. Oh, he's locked him off. They can't get back through the window and now to Vic in a 1v2, but he can win this one. He gets Valutarja and Cruz and nowhere to go either. He's going to allow the Lucio to stay alive, but this man knows his way around the Mei.
Absolutely. It's way too easy to do Mei puns. Another thing that we're seeing here, which is actually pretty cool, is you have the Zenyatta discording all the right targets for Mei. Normally freezing someone isn't how you'd want to kill them, but the discord is adding so much damage and being so effective. Running forward right into his face and turning into a little block of ice, you can't do any damage to that.
That's incredible. He just completely trolled Valutarja. Seems like everything that Vic is doing is going to be getting on Reunited's nerves in this game. Reinforced takes down Mord. Unko does fall to Valutarja, but Reunited are not making any progress. Another Blizzard? Are you kidding me? Vic lays it down. He's going to be freezing people for days. Cruz finally manages to deal with him, but the rest of Rogue are chilling, literally and figuratively.
It's funny that the character to finally slay this Mei was a Lucio, of all things. Actually able to land a couple of headshots on him, and that may be the fight here just because these spawns stagger so long for the defenders. But Mei is still just as effective on the second point, and you're going to need to see them sprinting in here really fast.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty tough to hold that first point indefinitely. It happens that you sort of expect to lose it, but it's taken a long time. So after Reunited get a 5-minute boost to their time bank, and they've only got 5 minutes, 52 seconds left here, so that's pretty dicey. They've already squandered so much of this time just getting the first point. The second one is not easy to take by any means as well. Rogue set up there on that top side. Deadeye coming in. Reinforced going to get to the ground. He'd love to get an Earthshatter, but look at him. He's waiting, patiently bouncing up and down. He wants to try and get that all the way, but no. He had no chance. Run fixed up behind him there as well, able to cut him down. And Reunited now. This could be nasty for Rogue.
Kib getting all of the kills, cleaning up after Zarya drops down the Graviton Surge, finishes every single person, is able to go and slash the doorway that he cannot walk through. And that's going to be it. Tracer tries to get on the point, but immediately taken down.
There it is.
And that is a nice time set there. They did waste a bunch of time on the first point, but Hanamura can be like that. You can just walk into the second point and snowball it and figure it out. 5 minutes though, still on the first point.
So Rogue, they're set up on that top. Well, we'll get to the first point in a sec, but Rogue is set up on the top side there in that fight. Reinforced jumps down. It seems like that was a little bit of a misguided play there from Rogue. That's really what split them up. I think Reinforced was hoping for an Earthshatter, but he was constantly being shielded away there by Winghaven.
Yeah, that was definitely an odd choice. I can see how he felt like he may have had to go down there with his team because they were just going to give them like 2 ticks on the point for free. But I don't think he expected the high noon from the McCree back there because that's really what shut down so much of his team. And his team even may have been split off because of that. He dropped down, maybe some of them stayed up there. The high noon just really won that fight, splitting everybody up.
Well, we see a Mei here from Reunited as well. I mean, why not? It's pretty darn effective, I think.
It may be something that we're seeing in just a second. I'm actually surprised right there at that last fight. Tavik actually changed back into Genji. He dropped the Mei, and I feel like maybe that's a little bit of a mistake. They did rush into the first point, and if he could have walled that off, that's pretty much the same situation. Buy yourself some time to get everything figured out.
If you told me a month ago that we'd be standing here at Gamescom discussing legitimate Mei tactics on competitive Overwatch, I wouldn't have believed you.
I would have expected it.
I believe that though.
I'm the one Mei believer. Hey, next a couple of months, we'll get ready to start talking about these legitimate honest strategies because it's coming.
I'm not ready for it. I'm just not ready for it. I need an adult. Anyway, Reunited setting up here as well. You can see there will be a Mei for Unfixed here, so he's more than happy to reciprocate. Now, Rogue, if they understand that Mei is maybe the more efficient tactic on this map, you think they're probably ready for it here, but again, what do you do about a big wall thrown in your face? How do you work around that? You said Genji can get in, but the rest of the team can't.
It's ironic because I think that Rogue is going to expect the Mei less than REUNITED expected it.
Okay.
This seems kind of weird. Like, I kind of saw this coming from Rogue, but now with this Mei hiding on the side, they're trying to push through. You can see they didn't do it as coordinated.
Oh, no.
Reinforce is going to go down immediately, hopefully taking him down. They didn't expect the Mei at all. That's what you hope to have happen.
Oh dear, Rogue getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine, and it's pretty darn chilly here. They're losing a heck of a lot of people on this first push. It got segmented from the very start, though. I think it was Reinforce and Nox that went in together. Nox just wanted to sort of wall ride over that one, but then it was just, what, a Lucio and a Reinhardt up against 6? Perfect use of the wall from REUNITED. That's all it took.
Now that you expect the Mei, it's still a very delicate situation. You still have to make sure you are perfectly grouped, or you can get that wall to come out in a time that's beneficial
he's
to you.
backed off.
Yeah, we can see the D.Va now because D.Va can fly over the top of the wall, so she's trying to get it pushed, but Unfixed knows better than that, knows the first person to come through is going to be trying to trick him up. Again, we see him coming through once more, searching for the Mei. Mei has to throw it on the wall, but a lot of people get in. Not everybody does. Zarya is cut out from this fight. And again, we see Mei tearing people up that have that Discord orb on them, and as soon as you think you're able to kill her, they actually get the shot on. Valotaja gonna be able to drop this high noon, kills the teenage girl in cold blood.
Murder, they cried. Murder! But still, Rogue are getting on towards this point here as well. That they've done it a little bit quicker than REUNITED, to be honest. About 2 minutes, in fact. So they managed to work their way around the Mei, Reinforce a brief switch towards D.Va there actually allowed him to take down Winghaven. Of course, he wanted the rocket booster to get over the wall, and there it is. Rogue get the first point. Still 7 minutes 20 left on the clock. However, REUNITED got this second point awfully fast. So if Rogue don't get it within the 2 minutes they have now, they're actually going to be going behind into the next round.
Yeah, the Mei wall tries to stop them in the gate. It does a little bit. Reinforce is stuck away from his team. Everybody split up quite awkwardly here, and we're going to have AKM probably trying to drop his high noon over from the side here in just a moment to force that Reinhardt shield. Everybody be a little bit defensive, but the Mei wall locks them off. Nice. Unfixed on the point with the ultimate, dropping it. They can't walk back quite yet. Reinhardt dropped to the ground, is going to easily be picked off there. Frozen. Here comes the high noon from AKM, trying to destroy that shield and shield it down, but I don't think it matters.
I think he's going to back away here. Rogue have already lost wins in that fight. The Zarya is so important to them right now, and Valotaja can clean up on the rest. This is working out very well for REUNITED. However, they're still behind by about a minute because Rogue were quicker to take the first point here. But if Rogue don't switch things up quite rapidly here, REUNITED will hold. Now, they've actually made the switch to Ana here as well, Stir. What's the thinking here for REUNITED with the defensive Ana pick?
Ana can really just... You can take this high ground up here where a lot of teams like to hold. You can just sort of force your tanks into that hole and they won't die. So you can guarantee to hold this. And it's actually, this is a huge prediction from them because they know they want to try and go for the high ground now because the low ground failed. So coming up top here, going to be trying to keep the tanks alive, but gets pushed back really hard, is going to try and put this guy to sleep, doesn't even have to, gets taken out, healing up his team from a distance, and it's just the amount of health that your team has because of the Ana. You can usually just out-attrition the enemy.
And you saw there as well, Cruz was able to get himself out of trouble by throwing his own biotic grenade should I say, at the ground and giving him some healing. And look at the support he's able to give to Kib. Not only can he heal Kib, but he can also attack Wings, who eventually went down, of course, to the aforementioned. Already a nano boost available here for the Ana. You think Winghaven is definitely going to be benefiting from that one here?
It really depends who he wants to give it to. Probably Winghaven. It can be a little bit difficult for things to work out for an Ana boost in these high-level competitive games. People are very good at speed boosting away from it and kiting it and baiting it. We might also see it just be given to Kib. A Reaper with that amount of speed in those shotguns is incredibly powerful. But they're going to send him in. This is enough to delay the point right now. We can see him walking them back, and this is what I'm talking about. It's pretty much a high noon at this point because it just discouraged everybody from coming in. Unfortunately, Winghaven knocked down to the low ground with 90% ultimate. They need him in this fight.
That's going to take him a long time to walk up. Luckily, I think he has that time as Rogue are playing very cagily off to the right side here. But even Reinforcer got himself from behind. This could be quite deadly. Earthshatter comes down here from Winghaven. Mort's going to initially come in as well with the Transcendence to try and keep this one going. AKM falling down to Winghaven early on. His battle Reinforced just having a bit of a snooze there. It's no time to sleep on the job. Get up on your feet and get it done. Rogue get cut down. Reinforced, he's slaying it in his sleep. And another stronghold for REUNITED. That sleep dart is not easy to hit. There is a delay on the cast time and the actual projectile coming out. So Cruz found the best target to give to the snooze.
We're actually seeing Cruz as well, almost has ultimate again. By the time this next fight happens, he's probably going to have another Ana boost. Even though it wasn't the most effective, you're using it every fight. It's like we used to see with Mercy, where just everybody would get revived. But we're definitely going to be looking for wins here with this ultimate, trying to put everybody inside the Graviton Surge, forcing them off the high ground first. He looks like he doesn't want to use it quite yet. Get everybody down onto the ground. They could drop all down on top of him, get a couple of clean kills, but everybody's quite split up. There's no target. He hasn't used it yet, and people are dying all around him.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate summation of the situation. Unfixed goes in and got himself 3 kills here, and instantly that's AKM reinforced into Vic all dead. 3 of the most important players on Rogue, they've got to back away here.
That's that moment where you just say, where's my team? Even here at this big event at Gamescom, he was looking for the ult, he couldn't find any enemies, and yet they were still killing his team.
Yeah, something Unco says a lot in TeamSpeak is actually team, when his whole team is, well, leaving him on his own. And obviously his English is not super good, he's French bloke, so that's what he likes to say. But Cruz now going to back away as well. We're hearing the Dragon Blade coming out, and Cruz is trying to duck away here. It's Tvik going very, very deep. He finds Belitandra as well. There's no escape for more. He tries to get back into his spawn, he gets cut down, and now Tvik trying to work on Cruz. Cruz unfortunately can't keep himself alive. That's 3 if you're keeping count at home, by the way, for Tvik. Very nice push on towards this point, and a good hold. He's up behind Wehaven as well. Not much he can do either. Graviton Surge come to try and hold Unfixed in the middle here. Kip just trying to dodge away up on that point. The Transcendence comes in here, and this is Rogue. They might be finally getting things done here, Stir.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time coming out of spawn, though. They both have 2 ticks on the point right now. It's just going to be spawners one after another, and they finally are able to take this point. Only about 3 minutes remaining. It's more even than it looks. 3 minutes to 5 minutes. A 2-minute difference is a pretty big deal, but sometimes these matches can really surprise you how they turn out.
What a marathon for Rogue. They spent so much time trying to punch up on that top level there. The Ana pick, fantastic from Cruz, really working out. Rogue lost 2.5 minutes on that push, so they're technically behind now. Of course, they defend first in this case. And so, yeah, if you're wondering what's going on, now we go back. Now it's going to be REUNITED attacking again. And again, these guys have their time banks up the top there. Once they run out, they're done.
What did I say last time? We're going to see the Ana future very soon. And we saw it there was actually quite effective. I think, unfortunately, though, in that last fight when he went for the Ana boost, he was aiming at Reinhardt. He didn't get it. I don't know who got it on his team. It might have been someone behind him. Sometimes that happens.
It's like playing Zenyatta as well, and you're trying to get your Orb of Harmony onto a certain person, but there's about 3 or 4 people in front of you. And you need to wait, of course, until the reticle comes up on that particular person. Sometimes it's hard to land them.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Sometimes it hits the person behind you, and Lucio always, at that particular moment, speed boost right in front of you. It's guaranteed to happen.
Or speed boost you, so you miss, or you fall off the edge or something like that as well.
Yeah, so we're actually seeing, again, the consistency in their belief that this Mei strategy is something they want to run. It's not a surprise. It's not something bizarre. This is, you saw us do it last time. We're going to do it again. We think this is a strategy that's really going to win us this game here on Hanamura.
I don't know, Stir, I'm sold. I've seen enough, I think, to know that this Mei strat works out pretty well. Maybe that's why Link bought the golden Mei gun skin. Never got to use it. That is sad. That is very
I did the same thing.
Really? Oh, I guess there's more than one people just like Link, so we have to refund it now. We'll be devastated to know that he's not the only one. But Kib already getting himself well around behind, completely undetected here. Reinforced falls to the Shurikens now, and he's looking for Tvik. He'd love to get rid of that Mei, and he does very early on. This is a good attack for REUNITED. They're not messing around this time. Wins holds on against Cruz, but Kib looking for all the priority targets, and he seems to be finding him here. REUNITED coming forward in numbers, keeping this fight going here, but a back and forth one is the sort of split over the side, and Unfixed falls there to Nox. Kib's going to do some serious lifting here.
Yeah, absolutely. Throwing his dash out there. Not quite finding anyone to fight. They're just awkwardly holding in the stairwell. Surely going to speed boost out of there soon. They have to contest this point. But if they all die here, they may be giving up the second point as well. Having your spawn staggered this badly can definitely be really dangerous. We have Kib now with Dragon Blade. He's probably going to want to opt to not use it, but actually gets killed in the back by the Zenyatta. Are they going to be able to hold here?
Yeah, look at that. I think they might be able to. Rogue just seemed to be able to breathe a small sigh of relief there. We watched Kib for about a minute and a half. He didn't die. He was in fact undetected for most of that time as well. Finally, Unco managed to spot the fact that there was a massive ninja in their midline, so he managed to pick him off with a few orbs there as well. But Rogue, fortunate to hold on here, and this is what they need to do if they want to keep this game even in terms of time bank.
It's unfortunate too, because I was saying you do want to keep your ultimates for the next push. You want to make sure you get the second point as quickly as possible. He was greedy holding on to his Dragon Blade. I think he actually could have cleared the point had he used it, but you really, really want to hold those. We have Ryan Force up in front, wanting to drop it. No! right at the exact second he goes to drop the Earth Shatter, he's taken out. And in turn, Winghaven brings it back to his team, and they're definitely going to be able to secure the point off of this. What an incredible timed High Noon.
Yeah, really nice there as well. Just as Reinforcer's shield got broken, the Fire Strike came through. 2 kills for Valitaja off the back of that one. And then Winghaven, he just thought he'd drop the hammer, get himself 2 more. That's all it takes here for Reunited. So finally still they break through here. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left to get this last point. Now, Rogue, they slipped up last time. They made a mistake. They got too big for their boots. Now they got 5 ults and hopefully some humility after what happened last time they were defending this point.
Absolutely. Again, we're seeing Tavik go back onto Genji, trying to stop everybody from coming in. They all get caught inside the Graviton Surge. No damage really coming onto them yet. He tries to Earth Shatter, and the Earth Shatter doesn't hit anybody. Goes into the shield, and this fight could have been easily in their favor, but nobody has even died yet. Actually, we lost AKM only for the amount of damage that's been thrown around. People finally getting cleaned up. Rogue is faltering.
Deadeye got reflected at him. He was about to get a 3-4-man Deadeye inside the Graviton Surge. Kib got the deflect and 3 more kills. That was nutty. Then Winghaven as well, going to lay down. Of course, the Earth Shatter in towards the Spawn, but Tavik coming out there as well. Gets the one-hit combo, plenty of damage across the line. Finds Cruz, and now he's looking for another one. But Tavik, just a little bit too good for Kib there. Reinforced standing on the point. Rogue get a second lease on life, but my lord, it was a close shave. And they'll be thanking their lucky stars that they're still on defense here.
Absolutely. It did not look like they were going to be able to hold that. A couple of things just went really badly for them, but on the upside for Rogue, I suppose, is that they got 2 ticks on the point. They're not going to have to spend too much time capturing it. And usually when you get into this situation, one person walking onto the point is a huge problem. They can cap it faster than you can notice it.
Yeah. So that means no funny business allowed if you're Rogue here. You've got to be checking to make sure no one's sneaking onto that point or just finishing the map here. Valitaja going for a bit of a duel there for Tavik briefly, but forced back as there's a couple more bigger fish to fry on the upper levels here. Speaking of frying fish, Kib, of course, being the sushi chef there as well, needs to make that little Dragon Blade sing, perhaps like it does in his job normally here. But look at this, Reunited backing right up here. AKM picks off more. That's an important pick off. What is this? Rogue coming out of the main area. They push out the second sector. They didn't get any
That's
more
always
for that.
scary to do. Even if they got a pick, it's I think too risky, playing a little bit too crazy there. They're going back up onto the high ground to hold that area now. Valitaja, I'd really like to see hold the long balcony there, take that High Noon, try and get some people off the top, but not seeing what strategy they're going for quite yet.
1 minute, well, less than 1 minute remaining here for Reunited. So if they fail to take this last point and Rogue get both of them on the next round, Rogue will win. Still a close one here, though, no doubt about it. 37 seconds remain for Reunited to take the second point. They've got the big ults, they've got the sound barrier, and Kim, of course, is going to start slicing and dicing when he gets the chance. Oh, good little wait there as well. He waited for the Transcenders to come out, and now it's slice and dice. It's Unco and Nox to fall. He's looking for more, and he might just have it as well. Wins gets himself a double. The Graviton Surge coming out there. Kim gets cut down. Rogue, hold on, but only just. Will it be enough? It's going to be unfixed now on a duel. It's a battle to the death, but Win stays alive. What? No way! Valitaja, he falls to Win's. Win had 1 HP left, and somehow
Wins.
the ESWC 2004, I believe it was, or 12, Quake champion, stands up tall against Reunited, keeps Rogue in the game. It was a 1v2, maybe even a 1v3. Yes, I'm yelling. Yes, that was exciting. And yes, Rogue have held Reunited back, only with 3 points.
Absolutely frightening. Zarya is one of those characters sometimes where everyone thinks about hard carries and you say, oh, you should pick Genji or McCree. Sometimes a good Zarya is the most frightening thing you can come up against.
I've never seen that before, ever. I've never seen that. Wins. Oh my lord. He spent so long languishing in the Lucio role saying, I want to do more for Rogue. I want to be a damage dealer. And then he gets to go over to, oh my lord, he gets to go over towards Zarya, got the double kill as well. I think it was probably off the back of a Graviton Surge, then 2 more kills. He killed Valitaja with one of the best placings of a right click from Zarya I've ever seen. Survives with just a slither of health, and if he doesn't get MVP for that performance there, I don't know, man. So, let's take stock those there. Reunited have 3 points here. So Rogue will capture this, if Rogue can capture this first point, they go to 3. If they don't finish, and they only have 3 points, it will be a draw. We will be going to probably Nepal, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, we don't actually do a coin flip or a final push there. If their time runs out, we will be going to Nepal to finish out on a best of 3 there. So maybe not actually the final map here on Hanamura. This one could really go the long haul, but 2 minutes and 50 seconds, everything has to go right for Rogue. They have to get the first point. They have to save their ultimates after winning the first point and really destroy the second one.
Man, my brain just crawled out my ears in that last little fight there as well. I don't even know what I was saying, but my lord, Reunited so close and yet just not quite there. Now it's going to be Rogue's turn to try. It's going to be a Maywall to come up and slow things up here. Victor's going to try and barrel over the top of it. Finds himself a kill, but the rest of his team are being cut down. That's not going to help here. And he does get caught mid-charge. That's styling.
Out of nowhere, the Reinhardt comes and just slams him. That's really unfortunate because he was set up for so many kills after that. The McCree didn't turn around, didn't know he was there. It seemed like everything was going into Vig's favor until a large German man showed up.
Yeah, it's just like a truck out of nowhere from off screen somewhere and he got caught by it. And you're pretty annoyed as a Genji player. You just lean back in your chair, just go, okay, he charged me. It happens. Yeah, there is a random element in this game sometimes. That was probably it.
The push coming out a little bit awkward. They sent in the Genji first, getting pushed into the backfield. Hammer versus sword. Monkey's getting frozen. These Maywalls have really split up these fights in such awkward ways. They're going to have to recontest the point here over from the side. Defending team here, always if you don't think you can win these, it's better to just die, do your best, respawn at the second point. But they are able to clean up here. Everybody on such low health. Unfixed goes for a charge on the bell, but it doesn't even ring. Dropping the May freeze and just hiding. Finish him off.
Yeah, good timing though. He popped out of that ice block while the blizzard was still ticking, but Tvik sneaks in the back and gets the cheeky little backstab. So Rogue are going to get this point by the looks. There's no one for Reunited to take it here. So that means that Rogue have just over a minute here to get the second point. They can win this outright. Even if they don't, they get a draw. So they've at least secured the draw in this map, which is pretty impressive from Rogue. But now, they got the eyes on the prize. They got the eyes on the 2-1 here, Stir. They can still finish from here, but it's got to be a pretty darn good push.
Yeah, they may be a little bit scared pushing into this point, worried about the May walls. There is no more May anymore, though. Not sure if they're going up top. Looks like they transitions down below. They're going to thrive in this chaos, which they've liked so much. They have a Tracer now, actually, who's going to be finding the fights here. Drops one person. Wins goes down immediately. That's a good pick if we go by anything that happened last round. And oh, he slams out the Zenyatta as well. Knocks alone on the point. So lonely. They're actually not killing him. They want his spawn to be as staggered as possible. And you can see them finally chasing him away like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. You can't trickle onto this point as the attacking team because the defense spawn is so much closer. It takes you, what, after spawn, like 1 second to get onto the point and defend. So the attackers need to be all there, all six, and they need to win the fight convincingly. 23 seconds remaining in this one here as well. Last chance for Rogue to outright win this map. Otherwise, we need to go to a very short tiebreaker, and this series would well and truly have gone all the way.
Absolutely. They need to do this now. And that's the unfortunate part, is because it's so hard to win these fights when you have to do it now. AKM getting on the point, though. If he can get an awesome pulse bomb, this could be all that they need. They have the support ultimates on the point, but he can't find any good targets. The kills are going in their favor right now. They have Mort down. They have everybody on low health. They should be able to get this in the last couple of seconds. Tvik swinging every which direction.
They've done it. They may have just done it. They're trying to capture this point. It's still being contested, but it's in overtime, and that's good enough for Rogue. If they get this in overtime, they win the map. They win the series. They're going to go through to tomorrow and make it into the final stages here. And you can see desperately Reunited are trying to keep this one going. I've been here before. I think I've done enough rapping for today, but we're going to have to keep going. It's Tvik pushing back on this one. Kim is down. We see a monkey up in the air, of course, and that's Unfixed trying to keep himself alive here. If Rogue gets pushed off, it's all over. It goes to the draw. Unco falls down now as well, and so does Reinforce. AKM's trying to keep himself alive, but no! Here's Reunited. They put their foot down. They say, this is our house, and you're not winning this way.
Wow, what a fight. That did not look winnable for a certain time there. It was only Winston on the point, using his ultimate, jump straight up in the air desperately before his team could finally come out and help him clean it up. And that leaves us with a 3-3 game. So we're going to be going into Nepal to figure out who really deserves this win. And it's bizarre. We see Rogue picking Hanamura as kind of the weird pick, thinking they can catch somebody off guard. But in the end, they both like ran the same strategies at each other. They were both ready for what each team wanted to do, and they came out even.
I mean, there's probably no better way to end a rivalry like this, or at least to settle it for now, as we are going to be going to a tiebreaker map here as well. I'm actually being told the tiebreaker map is Ilios. This benefits Reunited so much. Ilios is actually a pocket pick of theirs. Now, obviously our tiebreaker maps are predefined in this series, so you know that if you do get to, the draw in the last map, it will be Ilios, but
we clearly
Reunited were the first team to pick up this map and start playing it seriously, and they were the best for quite some time. I don't know if that's still the case, but I don't know how you can't favor them going into this one.
I don't know. Both teams have been showing that they really like an uncontrolled brawl. And if you're going to have an uncontrolled brawl, King of the Hill is the place to do it.
Sure.
Tracers have been running rampant. I think the players to watch are going to be the Tracers, how many kills they can get. If Kib on Genji is going to be able to carry his team, get 3 kills every single fight, you'll probably win if that happens. But Tracers, I think, are what you're going to want to see.
So obviously, for those that are watching and wondering how that last map actually went to a draw, normally if you do play competitive mode, it goes to a coin flip when you both run out of time with the same amount of points. Obviously, that's not really in the rule set. We don't have coin flips here at the Overwatch Atlantic Invitational, so we pretty much eliminate all coin flip possibilities. So
Season 1 is over.
Yes.
We're trying to get rid of coin flips as soon as we can.
Well, look, obviously, it was an idea. It's definitely one way of settling it here, but in the interest of competitive integrity, we decided to take it to a tiebreaker here. A map where there has to be one winner. And there can only be one winner, of course, on King of the Hill maps. That's why we're going here. That's why we're going to Ilios. Ladies and gentlemen, are you impressed? I think these two teams up on this stage have given us an incredible series thus far. I mean, it's a very fitting way to finish it really here as well. And mind you, neither of these teams get eliminated here. Of course, one will be going through to the playoffs. One will still have another chance to play through the lower brackets there. It is going to be Ilios. It's a lovely sight. It's a very picturesque location, but as the smoke clears and the dust settles, there can only be one winner and one team that goes through to the playoffs.
Yes, we're seeing not too much variance on teams. Again, I think they've really preferred the same style of fighting. We're seeing those Tracers on both teams again. Valotaja and Tavik are going to be going head-to-head. They also have that Genji on Kib, or Kib on Genji. We have AKM on Reaper, actually, who's going to be taking care of that Winston quite quickly. I actually really like the Reaper pick here. I think that gives them a slight edge because the Genjis struggle so hard against the Winstons. The Reaper team is going to be able to be much more aggressive, get in their face, get that damage in more quickly before the Genjis can get Dragon Blade. But both teams just kind of having it out, and this is always an awkward map. This is the first team to go forward. Winston jumps in, but he's going to find himself in that Reaper space. No one really trading kills. Unko goes down. Tavik goes down. Rogue absolutely losing this first fight.
This is not their home ground. I think we sort of said that maybe Numbani, it was REUNITED's home ground. This is now their home ground. They're getting themselves a tan in the Greek islands. This is where they have made some of the most impressive series I've seen, and no one can really beat them on these maps here. So a huge challenge for Rogue. To be fair, another great start if Unko's getting picked off there by Valotaja. Seems he's having no problems getting into the backline and finding those priority squishy targets.
Yeah, this is always a very difficult map to find out when to engage. And a lot of times, even if it looks like a bad engagement, the first engagement is just that you need to go in. Right. And we saw Winghaven just jump in. Didn't know why it worked, but it worked. They just had to get their DPS in there to actually be able to do something. Valotaja right now with the Pulse Bomb doesn't even have to use it, waiting for people to respawn. And the first person to hold this point again, it's just... This is a very difficult map. And again, REUNITED have got to be rubbing their hands together as well. They've spent so much time on this map, not even knowing that it would come to this, a tiebreaker on Ilios, but so far they're looking very solid. Rogue can fight back into this with two ultimates. They've actually got a Graviton Surge and a Pulse Bomb combo, so they've got a lot of damage available to them, damage that can't be healed through with Transcendence. But here comes a sound barrier for REUNITED now as they realize that Rogue is going for the fight. Yeah, again, Wins looking for this Graviton Surge. Again, not being able to find it just yet. Everyone's splitting up quite well. They have the Winston in the back doing a lot of distracting, trying to keep their Reaper alive. They're not able to find the initiation on this fight that they want. Again, I think you really just have to be boldly aggressive. You're finally catching a couple people in the middle, though they're not going to be able to secure any of this damage. Nobody was really there. The Death Blossom comes in so late with 42 health. You are absolutely dead.
Yeah, I don't think AKM realized how quickly his team will be cut down around him, but this is REUNITED. This could be a shutout. Already 84% to 0. REUNITED in utter control right now, and they still have a Transcendence in reserve. Kim's going to have a Dragon Blade. It's going to be very, very hard to Rogue to push through here. They've got one push and just one. At least they've got 4 ults to work with. Reinforce was hoping to catch Kim off there as well to start with, but he couldn't find him. This is now forced the Transcendence from REUNITED. AKM goes in. Death Blossom gets nothing.
Yeah, you can definitely say Zenyatta's ultimate doesn't defend against Tracer's Pulse Bomb, but that didn't connect either. They had this perfect team strategy where they could just go in, find the damage, but no, Kib in the end just kills everybody. I really think Rogue should have had it there. They had the Graviton Surge, they had the Tracer Pulse Bomb. It doesn't matter if Zenyatta's there, but they didn't find any of those ult placements at all.
That's his classic REUNITED. They go into that fight with one ultimate. Rogue had 4. REUNITED still win the fight and only lose 2 people. That's pretty impressive, to say the least. So, first map goes to them. It's a best of 3 now, as this is a tiebreaker for a capture point map. So, REUNITED only need one more round to take the whole series away.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for Rogue right now, who started off so confident, again, picking Hanamura, a place where they thought they could thrive, and it's unfortunate it's come down to this. It's really great seeing these two teams, again, go head-to-head, who have come off of just incredible wins just before these matches. And I can't wait to see who the winner is, though it's not looking great for Rogue right now.
It does look like we'll jump back to lobby briefly here. I'm not sure, someone without sound. So we'll see what the goal is here. But if we do come back to this one, we'll talk about this map anyway, Stir, because it is Lighthouse. A little bit different to Ruins like we saw before. The capture point this time is actually closed topped. You can't access it from above easily.
Yeah, I think Roadhog is usually quite good here at the beginning too, which would even be good at killing these Tracers, good at killing these Winstons, but both teams quite stubborn in their team compositions. And again, we just see that REUNITED is willing to take the fight to them first. They get up in their face and they're controlling the pace of these battles.
It looks like whatever issue there was initially is gone now. So we're going to make their way with a couple kills on towards the point here. Try and take it initially here. Oh God, will they take this one all the way as well? I don't even know if my heart can take it, Stir.
Going all the way to the final map, the final everything, 99% for each team would be a way too incredible way to end this. And it looks like we might be headed that way right now. The attackers are coming back in. We have Kib. Gonna have to do something crazy. Tafik already has ultimate. They have this advantage here. I think Rogue can actually hold this for quite a while if they use that advantage.
Yeah, well, the pulse bomb could be pretty important there as well, especially because everyone's going to clump up onto this point. Oh, Tafik lets it go from downtown. Doesn't really connect, though. He has to back away very, very quickly, blinking in and out of these fights. He's looking for Valley Tarja, but the man himself has proved to be just a little bit too slippery. Tafik now has to make a quick exit from the compound, almost falling off the edge there, but able to dash back in. And Nox again, look at the dodging, the ducking, the weaving, and the diving, trying to keep himself alive. Unfortunately, it only lasts so long here. Rogue is trickling in with one player at a time, Stir. It doesn't seem to be enough, and Nox...
No, Nox actually saves himself.
Nice.
A nice save, unfortunately, back on the point. There's a lot of people who don't like you there. He decides to jump off anyway.
That's anticlimactic, right?
It was all for nothing. There was no one there to ultimate. They're going to have to repush. And again, we're already seeing 44% for Rogue. REUNITED finally takes it. What is going to happen next in this series?
So obviously sometimes you want to spawn with the rest of your team and not be kept alive. That's kind of why he jumped off the edge, for those wondering. A bit weird considering he just showed us some fancy footwork. But now, Sound Barrier coming out for Rogue here. They're going to have to get to this point pretty darn soon. They're already contesting it at this stage. They've got a few players pushed ahead. But Kid, oh my lord, it's a big old pulse bomb from two Tracers. Both Tracers get at least 2 kills. But right now it's REUNITED who still have the advantage in this fight. Oh, reinforced. No, not like this. He goes over the edge and doesn't have it cool down on his jump back to get back. And REUNITED, that was a messy fight. A lot of pulse bombs coming out here. But the men in red did get the edge.
Yeah, Ryan Force, the way we'll remember you is jumping off, trying to kill that Zarya. That's the way it goes. Winghaven also with his ultimate ready for this next fight. The times have just about evened up with REUNITED getting 50%. This could go, again, either way. Kib with the Dragon Blade, though, is definitely who I'm going to want to watch here. He has a lot of potential to just kill everybody. Sneakily up top here at that. What was he blocking? He's trying to reflect. They don't even know where you are. You're a ninja, man.
Yeah, I mean, either way, point now being contested. It actually got flipped back in Rogue's favor briefly just then as well. This is a very close one. Hey, what?
What is this match, everybody? I don't even know if that was...
There is no way that was intentional. The rest of REUNITED was still up there. Unless Kip switches here, no. So he just messed up. I think he wanted to try and climb back up, but of course he was too far away. So as he fell, he got to the maximum height you can fall, and it kills you automatically, even if you're climbing on the wall. So bit of a misplay. Fortunately, it didn't really matter too much, but Rogue actually getting a good amount of percentage. They're in the lead now. This is an important fight. There comes the Dragon Blade from Kip. He gets Unco. Now the man's making up for lost time here as Valley Tarja has a pulse bomb ready to go, and REUNITED steamrolling over Rogue here on the retake.
Valley Tarja going to be looking for this great pulse bomb again. Doesn't need to. Everybody getting pushed off the point. Everybody cleaned up for you. It always feels so great when you feel like you have to do a whole bunch of work, but your team's already done it for you. Walking forward again, making sure they can't even push here. Even one pick at the beginning of this fight can be monumental with this pulse bomb. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as you get someone. That 5v6 will be great leading on to this point. They're going to have a pretty high percentage soon, so you're going to want to be looking out for that. Tavik as well with the pulse bomb.
That's a big sound barrier there as well. Rogue are looking to try and retake this point now, or even in percentage, they are contesting it. Reinforced staying alive. He gets on towards Cruz here. Good fight for Rogue so far, and it seems to be working out for them now. Valley Tarja, Unfixed is going to fall. He had the Graviton Surge, but there wouldn't have been anyone to follow up on it either way. So REUNITED gets so close to victory, but Rogue keep it in the balance by the skin of their teeth. They now have control, and now REUNITED have to come forward and take this point. Otherwise, we will be going to a third and final stage.
This is going to go to the absolute end. I would love to see Rogue hold it here. That'll be outrageous, but either way, this has been the craziest series we've had all day. Looking again for that pulse bomb. I need to see a pulse bomb kill. I've been talking about it so much. There it is, gets it on everybody, and one kill.
Sound barrier was used there by REUNITED in the fight there. Now it's overtime, so if Rogue can hold this point, they're gonna win. But no, it looks like it's not working out for the Winds. Goes over the edge. Unfixed takes down Tavik. have control. The point goes back to them. 99, 100. You better believe it. It's REUNITED. Take the series 2-1. It was a marathon. We got here in the end, and what an impressive performance from REUNITED. Rogue, while they can't be too disappointed, they have to be frustrated. They were so close to.
Both of these teams brought out everything. They brought out Maze, they brought out Anas, they brought out Hanamura. They went down to almost the very last map there on Ilios. And here we can see Kiv getting to play a game.